Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
We discover hidden secrets of BMX.
And now we're going to find out what's going on.
Let's see how far down this rabbit hole we go.
Is that Andy Pandemic?
What's up, Dave?
Hey, I really want to know how to say your name. I have this thing about saying people's last name in general.
Yeah.
So say your last name.
My real last name?
Yeah, because Pandemic is not your real last name.
No. It's Pierzkowski or Piotrowski or Pietrkowski. That's how.
Oh, wow. So you're going to give me three options. I already.
Yeah, we usually say Pietrkowski.
Say the easiest version for me to learn.
Pietrkowski.
Pietrkowski.
Yeah, Pietrkowski.
Kowski.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool.
Pandemic was my radio name because I was the metal pandemic,
Oh, was it pre-pandemic then?
What?
Was that name given to you pre-pandemic?
Yeah, that was back in like 2008.
Has,
so I was the pandemic before the pandemic was the pandemic.
Then that has a whole new meaning now.
I know.
I thought all this time that you just were trying to work it off this whole pandemic and just
yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. All right. So see, I'm already learning so much. I wanted to have you on early so that we can do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
As you know, Joe and I do a lot of this, and you're kind of clued in on the show because you've been a part of one and you've been, you just know that not everything is just spontaneous. There is some planning and there is some staging and there's some characteristics, I guess, that we play into. Yep. So I think you doing the opening, like you suggested, you'd like to do a little intro about yourself.
Yeah.
But I also want you to run it kind of like how I do it, where it's like a round table so that we include everybody that's on the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then instead of just like the same old interview format where like, where you from, what do you do, like come up with something odd or strange, weird question, like, or just to throw them off a little bit. Like we did that one example. What did you do 10 minutes ago? What did you do 10 months ago? And the reason why we say 10 months, because you actually have to think about it. Well, wait, so it's not just last March. Wait, it wasn't March. It would have been, that would have been February, then, so you put some thought to it. It stops them in their just their normal routine, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know if you have an idea to do it, and it can be something simple, like anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. We used to do that when we would do interviews with bands, because you go through like your normal, how was tour, how's the new album, and all that stuff, and then you ask something weird like, when was the last time you went bowling, or are you a good bowler, just
exactly,
weird stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that, and you could change it up with each person. So because there's going to be 7 to 8 people on the call.
Yeah.
7 people besides yourself, and include Joe and I in that.
Okay.
Even though we assume that the people that are know us, but that way you can say, well, Dave, so tell us a little bit about yourself, and when was the last time you went bowling, or when was the last time you, whatever it is, whatever you come to. And I'm kind of like you two, where I like to be prepared, but then I also know you can be really prepared and then just let it free flow.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask,
Uh,
like, what are your thoughts about pineapple on pizza?
Right.
If-
Yeah, because
or some-
that's like a common thing. Like some people are like, whoa, can't even deal with that.
right.
Um, and like I always like it. You heard the one that we said, what do you do when you get a hole in your sock?
Yeah, yeah, yep. And the
like,
toothpaste.
yeah, and the toothpaste one, like those are all good because pretty much everyone wears socks. And
Yeah,
pretty much everyone's experienced a hole in their sock. You know, so those kinds of things. And pizza pineapple is another good example. So
yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna, Joe should be here any second.
Okay.
He's a little late. I'm gonna send him a message.
Oh, no worries. So I can, let's see. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, your name, where you're from, what you
Okay,
do
how
for a
about this?
living,
How about this?
or,
In 43 words, please tell us a little, like, give them something specific.
yeah,
That's really hard to do. Like, okay, who's
yeah.
counting?
Oh, that's really good. In 43 words or less, tell us who you are.
And then
Like,
change it up, because then if
Yeah.
you're ever in those, you know, have you ever been in those like rooms, especially when it's something like about personal and you're in the room and they're going around and they're like, and you're waiting your turn and you get all nervous.
Yeah,
So, and then you know that they're going to ask you, what are you here for? Why, what's your
Yeah.
background, whatever. And I've been in those situations. It's like outside BMX that I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable, right? And so change it up. So the next person go to in 43 words, in 43 seconds,
yeah,
in 43 pauses. I don't know, whatever you
Yeah.
want to do to get it creative. That would be great. Okay, so I trust that you got it. And I really like the fact, I'm just going to send, we're on.
yeah. So like my background with radio, it was a college heavy metal radio show. So I'm used to stuff like this.
Yeah.
The last time that I was on, obviously I had never met you guys, and it was kind of that like starstruck thing, you know. So I've been out of the radio game for a while, so it was a little knocking the dust off it a little bit. And then when you prompted me, like, oh, when the special guest comes on, ask him this. I was not expecting Matt Hoffman. When Matt Hoffman came on, I was just like completely like deer in the headlights. Oh my God. I was speechless, and I was just trying to maintain like a level of cool. So it didn't seem like I'm just like, Jesus Christ,
Like, that's not happening. Right.
Yeah.
And
like I think I held it pretty well, but I totally botched that transition.
no, but it's
And
still
like I knew what
covered
you were
very-
wanting me to ask, but I just at that point anything was off the table. I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, but it was fine, like how it all worked, because that's what I was trying to do is because it's like, I think of it as like, even though we're not live, but I want those real live interactions by putting people in those situations, right? And I asked for your permission before,
Yeah.
like, are you okay? So you
Yeah.
had some idea. And then I
Yeah.
wanted to like trumpet. I just wanted to, and Matt it was a wild card because he was possibly going to be actually at this hospital, which he is now. He's at this
Yeah.
special brain hospital there's a dog scratching at the door. Hold on. Do you want to go out? Sarah, can the dogs come out? I guess so. Anyhow, so I don't know where Joe is. I think he's just messing with me. He's totally ghosting me 5 minutes before the show. This is good. Okay, so my radio experience, I worked for this talk radio network for about 10 years. When I moved from San Diego to Oregon, funny little story, I was sending out resumes because I was actually collecting unemployment because my family relocated. So my wife at the time got a job at the hospital and I was looking for work. And because of that, I could collect unemployment, which I really had a hard time with. I was like, oh man, but they're like, people said, no, just do it.
Yeah.
Hello, Rodney. How are you?
Hey, Rodney.
Good. How are you? Hey, Andy.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's okay. How are you?
Good, good.
I was just telling a quick
Right on.
story, Rodney, about I used to work in the radio business for a few years, and I wasn't
Oh, yeah.
even on the air, but I
Okay.
worked in affiliate relations. So Andy, when I got this job, I was sending resumes out, and they called me up, and they said, hold on. Oh gosh. Maybe I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm at a house that has 6 dogs, literally 6 dogs.
Nice. I got 2. When my wife
Yeah.
comes home in a little bit, they're gonna go nuts. So
Yeah, I have 2 at home anyways.
But-
So I was sending my resume out and I got a call, and I thought it was the person that was calling me to do an interview for my biking stuff, because I was still doing
Yeah.
some bike shows. And then they were like, no, you applied for this job. Because I was just sending resumes out to anybody. And at the time, it wasn't even, it was just from the paper.
yeah,
Anyhow, I got this job and I worked there for like 10 years. And what my main position is clearing the radio programs on talk stations. And I learned a lot about the format, and like that's what I'm trying to bring to this, to where we have segments and we have bits and pieces that we come in and out of, current event stuff that we can talk about, and
Yeah.
then guests and whatnot.
yeah,
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
So we got 5 minutes and Joe is completely ghosting me. I have no idea what he's doing. FaceTime Joe Sisman.
Yeah, so Dave, you and I need to go like on a one-on-one, and I'll give you some instruction on how to do like radio transitions. You know, like people will be talking and you just kind of, nudge your way in and direct it the way, you find a spot where the
Yeah.
conversation is kind of stalled.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit, Joe. Sorry.
Nope. And you just
Oh,
kind
say that
of,
again.
you,
Yeah.
you wait for a spot where you want to make a transition, and we would do this on air breaks and during interviews and stuff, and you can kind of nose in there and say, all right, we're going to change gears now. All right, and then you just kind of take over for that split second and then
Yeah.
direct it the way you want to.
Yeah, and
like when
I
you're
already
doing your
do
little
that.
advertising for reclamation, you should have done that instead of like trying to politely break in. You just kind of, all right, we're going to take a short break to acknowledge our sponsor, Reclamation.
Let's thank
like
Reclamation
hard-
Bikes.
like
Hey,
people.
yeah, okay, got it. And I
Yeah.
do that. I just need to get better at it because I know the format. I
Yeah,
haven't done a lot of it online, actually in practice.
yeah,
But I definitely do that. And also, if there's a topic that I'm going through and I'm sharing, and then Joe has a lot of information and he has a lot of little thoughts in his head, and I can just see his ears. And I go, Joe, what did you have to say? You mentioned something about that, and just throw it over to his court.
yeah.
That always works.
Yep.
Rodney, did you have anything on the call today that you wanted to cover? We're going to start in a couple minutes officially.
I mean, I had a few ideas, just kind of like from what you were saying, like on the subject of motivation, like kind of like figuring out like exactly where, like at this point in our lives, like we fit into like freestyle as like a society and like a group of people. And because that's something I'm kind of trying to figure out, as I've just been back for like 2 years, and I know Andy hasn't been back for a long time either, like figuring out like, besides just like riding in a parking lot or riding with a couple of our friends, like where do we fit into all of this? Because I find that motivating to feel like I'm part of something bigger.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool. Okay. And I think
That,
too,
that was easy to do, 20, 25 years ago. I don't find it as easy now.
right. Because the terrain, it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
So the other people, just so you know, that are on the call, it's going to be Scotty Freeman.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can talk to him about, we're going to talk about shows a little bit too. That will be one segment.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing too. Yeah.
And because Scotty he was there from day one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the youngest show writers probably on the planet. Hello,
I
Scotty.
literally just got done watching Radis BMX tricks of 1985, like not too long ago.
First one,
Yeah,
that's the best one.
yeah.
How are you, Scotty? Nice to see
I'm
you.
good. Are you joining us from Scotland? Or no, you're in Wales.
I'm in Wales. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the difference?
I think you should check this place out. Have you been to Wales? I know you've been to England.
I have not been to Wales. No.
Oh, it's pretty awesome. Oh, we got Ratty Matty.
Oh, cool.
Ratty.
Hey, do I have audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Wow, you guys are so prompt. I appreciate it. We're gonna wait. a
Maddie,
couple
this is
minutes
spectacular.
Yeah. Ratty, you always just never cease to amaze me. Look at that.
I gotta, it's gotta be
So,
something.
Ratty's gonna be the live remote reporter from San Diego because he's got some appointments later. He's got some terrain to ride. He's
Wait
got
a second. Stop. Last time, Robert Castillo did a live remote from a show in a parking lot at Walmart. You just said Maddie's got some errands to run. Are you telling me that he's going to do a live remote from Jiffy Lube?
Exactly. No, you didn't hear what the errands. The errands is he's got to go hit this spot and he's got to go launch off this roof. That's his errands. But he's gonna give
Oh,
it's
I
A whole
got
new
it.
meaning to the paperboy route.
Whole new. That's really awesome.
so we have a couple more people that have been invited. Joe, you have the list too, don't you? I don't have the list in front of me. Who else are we missing?
I don't know. I just got to say I was late because my mom got a hole in one today. She's 74.
No.
And I finished my session in the Terradome and I looked down at my phone and like she had texted earlier in the day and then I was like, dude, my 74-year-old mom got a hole in one, her first. And so I called her and I got her all stoked.
That's
And
amazing.
then I was like,
That is amazing.
I'm totally
That's
gonna be
totally
late.
amazing. Yeah.
What
Talk
was
about
the-
motivation. So the
What was the
show,
part?
the theme is motivation today. Talk about motivation.
74-year-old hole in one. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
that says it all.
What was the par on the hole?
It was a par 3. She lives in the Villages in Florida. Have you heard of that place?
I feel like I have heard of the Villages. Yeah.
You may have heard of it because it has the highest clustering of sexually transmitted diseases in the country. It's a bunch of old retired swingers
That's amazing.
who like pop pills and smoke loud.
I'm
No.
I'm going to
Swear
Florida
to
in
God.
less than a week, so I better put this on the list.
Yeah. You can do another live remote from there, Maddie.
We're here at the old Krusty Krabs area. Like...
Oh, it's
That's
so
amazing.
great.
That's
It's so
amazing.
great.
Okay.
Can we, I have a question before we get started. This is a technical question regarding Zoom.
Yes, Rodney.
I'm on a different computer this week, and a couple weeks ago, Matt Hoffman had the same problem. This is one of many things that we have in common. I went the grid, so I can
Okay.
see
I'll talk you through it.
that. Okay.
On your view, you
Yes.
should have in the upper right hand corner of your view, you should see 3 dots. And when you press those 3 dots, you should have options for how you want the layout to be.
I have 3 dots at the bottom, but all it says is stop incoming video, and that's the worst idea.
That
I
is
can
the wor- That is the word. I have only bad options there, so you have to talk me through somewhere else.
Are you on a Mac or
Yeah.
you're on a Mac?
If you have it as a full screen, if you go to the